Hey, and welcome back. We've got another great episode for you today. We're going to deal with the really difficult problem of if you have a friend or a family member in real estate, but you're going to end up working with somebody else and kind of what the do's and don'ts for that situation are. Because there are a few reasons that people may not want to work with somebody that they have personal relationship with, but we'll get into that later. You also may have noticed that normally I have a suit on in these, but today we're supporting Gold Out. I'll give a little bit of information about that at the very end, as well as a couple links in the description below. It's a great organization that Sunburst is supporting, and so any help would be greatly appreciated. All right. With that, let's jump right in. All right, so I mentioned today we're going to talk about what to do if you have a family member or a friend who's involved in real estate, but you're not going to end up using them because that is a kind of difficult territory to cross into. So first off, a couple reasons that you may not is, the first one and the biggest one that I see is a lot of people like to keep their personal relationships and their business relationships separate, which is completely understandable. Nobody's ever going to fault you for wanting to keep those parts of your life separate. The other part is a lot of times you don't want your family members or your friends to be involved in a lot of your financial information. We end up getting into quite a bit of that with real estate. We're not taking your social security number down or anything like that, but still we're going to be helping out with your closing disclosures, which is going to have a lot of information on there. And so a lot of people may not want their friends to be that involved in all of their business. So I think one of the big things that people will do to kind of get around that is they just won't even talk to their friends or family about buying a house until they give them a whole congratulations or something like that afterwards, which can a lot of times leave that family member or the friend feeling hurt, even if you may not think that they should, even if you had a great reason for it. What they view it as a lot of the time is that you didn't trust in their ability to get you a house. So one of the really big reasons that you should involve your family member or your friend that is in real estate, even if you don't plan on using them for the purchase, is that they're going to know what makes a good agent. A lot of people don't. A lot of people will never understand what happens within a deal because the buying side is purely represented by their agent, and the same thing with the listing side. And so you never get to see what either of the other agents are doing. Your agent may be doing everything wrong, but they're only going to present the information for you. So you're not going to know that they did things wrong. You're just going to assume that it's the other party. So with that, your friends or family that are in the area are going to know those agents, and they're going to be able to recommend somebody to you that is actually good at their job so that you don't have any kind of issues like that. On top of that, that friend or family member can, even if they don't know people in that specific area, they can interview other agents, because there are always questions that you can ask agents to kind of figure out if they know what they're talking about, and to see if they are really friendly for, whatever type of property you're trying to get. Some agents specialize in commercial multifamily or commercial business properties, or others may be really good with residential. Some are fantastic with the VA loan, but don't work a ton with conventional. So there are a lot of aspects of real estate that make somebody good. And just because you're good in one part of it does not necessarily mean that you're good in all parts of it. And so the second part of that too is that you want to make sure that you're going through them for a referral. I know that that may sound weird and it may sound self-serving, but you have two really big reasons that you should do that. One, it completely eliminates that person feeling hurt that you don't want them to represent you. Because at that point you can explain, hey, I love you, I trust you, and I know that you understand the business, so I do want your advice for a referral. However, I do want to keep that personal life separate, or whatever your reason may be. And so that ends up showing them, no, I'm not doing it because I don't trust you as an agent. I simply want to keep these parts of my life separate. And so I do want to go through you in order to find an agent that can be comparable to the services that you would provide. The other part of that too is that when agents receive a referral, a lot of times they're going to work a lot harder for that client in hopes of getting referrals in the future, because that is a huge part of our business. And it is much better for an agent to send some money for a referral than it is for them to have to pay for advertisements that may or may not work out in the end. And so you're going to see that a lot of times you'll get much better treatment simply because this is now no longer just about an agent and client relationship, but it is also an agent to agent relationship, so that you can build that up. And so there's a lot more at stake for this particular agent to actually do a really above whatever else they normally do job. And so now a big part of this is I want to touch on some of the kind of taboo things that you may not even know that you're doing, but agents will talk about this, and it's going to upset agents. And it really is, it's a different world. And so understanding kind of the way that they're going to view it versus the way that you're going to view it is really important, I feel. So I'll talk about three main taboo subjects when you have a friend or a family member who is an agent. So the number one thing is if you go through your agent friend and you have them send you properties or do a comp or something like that so that you can get advice, and then you don't talk to them at all about a referral or anything like that, and you just use another agent, that's a huge slap in the face, because it looks like either one, that you don't think that the material they gave you was good, or two, you don't value their time enough at all. And so you feel like you should just be able to get whatever free advice from them, it doesn't matter, and then go with somebody else. The second thing is if you've already gone with another agent and then you're putting in offers and you start asking advice from that friend, they're just kind of going to look at you like, are you serious right now? Why are you asking me offer advice? If you wanted my advice, you could have worked with me or at least gone through me for a referral. But now what you're saying is, oh, I think I've messed up, but I want free advice from you, and I'm still going to work with this other agent, even though I may not trust them completely, because otherwise you wouldn't be going out of your way to talk to your friend or your family member about what you should be offering. And then the third thing, and this is a huge thing for me because I hate when people do this, is trying to get offer advice for an area that is completely outside of your market expertise or your friend's market expertise. I mean, the market in Washington, D.C. is completely different than the market here in Killeen, Texas, and it's completely different than, Los Angeles, California. None of the prices are the same. None of the ways offers work are the same. In this area, you may be able to get some closing costs covered. And in, another much more populated area like DC, for example, there's no way you're going to basically take this property and you're going to get it as is. It's not realistic to try to ask an agent for advice on putting offers together in that area, because they genuinely will not be able to offer you advice because they don't have any expertise out there. Like I said, I'll bring up Washington, D.C. Their average price for a 2-bedroom house is about $500,000. I can get a castle out here for that same price. And so to even try to compare the markets is just ridiculous. So now I'll circle back and I'll just go into, how do you make this a win-win situation for everyone? First step, honestly, is just hit up your real estate friends, your real estate family members. Let them know that you do trust their expertise and that you do want to hear from them, and that's the reason why. But also that you respect their time. And so make sure that you're getting a referral from them if you don't plan on using them, because that is their expertise. They know this area. That is their whole life. Most agents I know eat, sleep, breathe real estate. And so they're going to be able to get you the best possible agent out there. And so, like I said, again, it sounds self-serving. The referral, an agent does get money for sending a referral over, but that works twofold. Not only does your friend get some compensation for their market expertise, but also you're going to get an agent who wants to work harder for you so they can build the relationship up with your friend or your family member who's an agent. And I'm sure I'm beating a dead horse with it, but just remember that as soon as you are a referred client, you are going to get much better treatment from that agent. You are going to be their number one priority because there's so much more on the line, because that means that that agent has potential future referrals from that same agent. And so not only do they have the ability to potentially get referrals from you, but from your friend. And so now it's just made it doubly important for them to do a really good job on this deal. So I hope that was helpful. I really hope that you're able to use this in order to avoid some awkward situations with family or friends. Help keep that relationship good between you and your family or friends who are agents, and also get you better service. If you ever have any other questions, any other topics, or anything that you want to see on here, feel free to leave a comment on my page, on the Sunburst page, leave us a private message, or leave a comment down on the video below. As always, please like and subscribe below to follow us to see more videos. We're going to keep these up on a weekly basis. I know that we had a bit of a hiatus while we were changing around the arrangement. Now we've got it pretty much set, so these are going to be coming in on a much more standard timeline. So without further ado, I do want to give a good amount of information on this charity that Sunburst is representing now. So here's another very worthy cause. It's the Go for Gold campaign, because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So in case you didn't know, the parents of 15,700 children have to hear the words, "Your child has cancer," every single year. So that means about 43 children a day are diagnosed with cancer. Of that, 1 in 8 children with cancer do not survive. And of the ones that do survive, 60% of them will have late stage effects such as infertility, heart failure, or even other secondary cancers. Despite all of that, only 4% of our federal budget goes towards childhood cancer research. So to help support that, we have these shirts, Teaming Up for Gold Out because kids can't fight cancer alone. There's a Facebook page as well, Teaming Up to Fight Childhood Cancer. We'll leave a link in the description below. Please go support them. We have an order form if you'd like one of these shirts. They only cost $5 to support childhood cancer research. And of that, all $5 goes directly to research. They don't take anything for themselves. This organization is completely dedicated to helping with pediatric cancer research. So please hop on their page, go order a couple shirts, support them any way that you can. And feel free to contact us here at Sunburst or go support them at their Facebook page. If you have any other questions about how to get involved in helping with childhood cancer research, how you can donate, or other ways that we can help out. Here at Sunburst, we really appreciate you. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.